Coming to this group, as the reason I chose to come to is because
I usually stopped functioning. I totally withdrew. Came to I don't know if it's the cliche, you stop washing, you stop shaving, you don't want to speak to anybody. My mental health problems started back in my 20s, where they were manageable. You know, they weren't a case of I couldn't cope, couldn't work. You know, I'd lived a normal life. I had huge depression. And it's basically been in the last 10 years where it really bang, just poleaxed me, where the point of I was able to function as a person. My whole life basically fell apart. My marriage broke up, you know, everything. It was all over like a 6-month period where my world ended of how I knew it and how I perceived it to be. It was a case I was fine one day and the next day they picked me up at the end of a motorway. No, I just packed it, my body just stopped functioning.
When I first went into hospital, I was diagnosed as having depression and mild alcohol-related issues as well. I was offered counselling with the depression for having alcohol problems as well. And then this, which I thought was, when I got released from hospital, that's how it was seen by my doctors. It was, you know, depression with mild alcohol-related illness. And then years went on, I started university, I thought, right, this is going to be a progression for me. I moved to Aberdeen and started university up there, but unfortunately I became unwell again.
The negative impact on my life was I basically stopped functioning. I totally withdrew, came to I don't know if it's the cliche, you stop washing, you stop shaving, you don't want to speak to anybody, you don't want to socialise. You know, you won't answer your phone, you refuse to answer letters, you just come to the point where you're totally withdrawn into yourself. And you don't realise it, it's other people that know you notice the thing, because when you're that low, you've no self-awareness of how bad you are. It's when other people start going, there's something seriously wrong with you, you need to go and see someone.
I'd be in my house for days, I wouldn't deal with bills, which is what I found out through reading more up on the literature of bipolar. It's dealing with financial issues, just general day-to-day stuff like that, answering the phone, answering the door. And I was recently, I declared myself bankrupt because I'd accumulated so much debt, but having the bankruptcy thing cleared all my debt, and it was kind of like a weight lifted off my shoulders because I hadn't been dealing with all those problems.
One of the organisations that I work a great deal with is Dundee College, and we run a course twice a year. The Moving Forward group, which is on today, and you can see it taking place behind me, is a group that happens 3 times a week for 8-week course. It's a really important course because I feel it focuses clients down to looking at what's out there and broadens their horizons when they sometimes become really quite stuck in the service, and they start to realise that there's opportunities out there. And I just, as an occupational therapist, I find it so stimulating, invigorating to take these people beyond the service and actually just watch them grow and flourish, and it's a privilege to do that. Over the last 6 and 18 months, I've been working with 2 students, Mark and Andy, who were service users, and one of them is now in the college doing an HNC. The other one, Mark, I'm working with him to pursue the sports line, and we've got him doing an MPLQ, which is a lifeguarding certificate. He's going to be doing his child protection and some volunteering with a local swimming club, and we're hoping that will be a door opener to employability for Mark.
The Moving Forward group gives students a chance to come together and forget what's going on outside. We look at newspapers, we discuss articles, they get to share their opinions and their ideas. And it might be the first time for quite a while that they've actually been able to sit down and discuss something that's quite topical at the moment.
I've increased my not just socialising, but becoming active and getting help from Gillian to looking for work and becoming more positive. I swim pretty much every other day. I'm exercising now. The group's really boosted my confidence.
Now we have Gillian, who's the lead person, and she is bringing it all together. Her skills as an occupational therapist really shine. How she understands the clients and how she can give us help to how to sort of bring out the best in these clients and support them. It's a big task to come into college and be mingling along with hundreds of other students, and many of the clients feel that they stand out in the crowd as somebody who has got mental health issues. But within 8 weeks of coming here, we're seeing that the students are just mingling the same as everybody else, and that comes with a lot from the support and the help that they get through Gillian and the occupational therapy service.
The support I get from Gillian is, it's not like you're working with a professional, you know, it's more of a friend you're dealing with, where you've got a problem, you can go right on the phone, Gillian, this is and it's, yeah, no problem, Andy, we'll see you, we'll get this sorted, we'll get this done. And there's not that pressure. It like takes a lot of the stress and pressure off of me having to deal with it, where Gillian, God love her, I'll take it onto her shoulders and deal with it for you.
I've been doing focus groups with mental health users, and in my own subjective judgment, I've always thought that we were different, and that has been absolutely reinforced by the interviews that I've done with service users. The kind of things they tell us, that we don't see them as diagnosis driven, and I hope that whole emphasis about being person-centred comes across within the strategy, and that particular role that HPs have in that, and the philosophy we have.
I structured the HM group as I'd structured any other group. These are people, and I know that they have mental health problems, but I try to support them as much as we can, just making sure that the communication's there at all times, and making sure that they're up to speed and don't feel any kind of pressure in terms of assessment submission. We do the same subject for a period of weeks, and again we just do it at a very relaxed pace and supporting them.
I think probably one of the main challenges that I come across is stigma of other people, and sometimes when I know somebody can actually do something and take it forward, it's couching it in such a way that I'm not breaching their confidentiality, I'm being an advocate for their needs, and persuading somebody else in another organisation to give them an opportunity.
Andy, he came from the Moving Forward group, and he is showing he's excelling in all areas. So confidence levels have come up. He's now becoming very independent in his study. Computing is quite a technical course, and he's showing that he's got the aptitude to do that. So coming from the Moving Forward in terms of communication and moving on to something as in-depth as a computing course is exceptional.
At first we thought it would just be like your basic computers, but they've worked it so we can do an HNC and IT technical support, and it's great. You know, I mean, it gives you a focus of something to do every week. It's going to give us a qualification at the end to use, and the support we get from the OTs and Dundee College is brilliant.
My hopes for the AHP strategy that's just about to be launched is that we will see more AHPs working with other organisations in the third sector, colleges and employers, and a real understanding of their roles and what they have to offer and how they actually support clients to do their best and to fulfil their potential.
Well, the wider circle of friends and networks in the colleges, there's not a stigma to your mental health here. You know, everybody's taking on face value, you are what you are. The young team are brilliant because, I mean, they'll speak to anybody, especially old people like me, you know. They don't really, you know, and it's a mix. And they've got all their own ideas, and you've got yours, but there's somewhere in the middle we all kind of meet and can get on. You know, there's never any barriers, you would say.
Andy, Mark and the rest of the group got on well as a group. They started off in the Moving Forward. You noticed then their confidence levels went up. However, as the course has progressed, they've all got a great relationship together. I see them now getting fantastic relationships with some of the other HND students down in the cafeteria, in the corridors. These are normal people and they're integrating normally.
This document has the potential to be a real key for enablement, enabling allied health professionals to release their full potential in enabling service users to release their full potential. For me, it's about using some of the words from the stories about living an ordinary life and flourishing.
And my hopes for the future now are getting my lifeguard qualification, any teaching qualifications, anything that will enhance my chances of gaining employment or getting volunteering opportunities, working with swimming clubs, working in sports centres, just anything sports related.
I want to get back to an ordinary life, you know, just to function like everybody else without today's hang-ups, you know, and you know it yourself, stress comes in many forms and it cripples you, where I just want to get back to an ordinary life that I can function in.